because he's in meetings like me to do with this issue at the moment. Hang on a minute. So I want to bring 7.10 harm forward because Lynn's unavailable today for Gavin to present that. And then after we've done that, I want us to move into public excluded while Gavin is here as well. And we'll deal with the public excluded and come back into public afterwards. I know this is a bit of ducking and diving today, but you'll just have to bear with me with this. So would somebody happily move those amendments to the confirmation status agenda, please? Councillor Thompson, Councillor Patterson, all raise your hands in favour. Carried. Rightio. Any disclosures of interest? No disclosure of interest. Rightio. We will move into, we'll deal with these minutes first. So we have the minutes on page 5 from the council meeting held on the 9th of August. Would somebody like to move those, please? Councillor Maguire, Councillor Thompson. Can I have a move on show of hands, please? All in favour? Carried. Right, the other one, just to confuse you, the other minutes are the minutes of the representation review and deliberations are actually in the supplementary agenda. So I know you are all working off electronic, so you need to change to that. And that's on page 30. I'll write that down. I wrote that down somewhere. No, it's not. So where are those minutes?
It's the first attachment to the supplementary agenda.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look. I got so many bits of paper here, some printed, some unprinted, some on screens. It's all over the place. So can you just read those out, what they are, Kayleen?
So they are the minutes for the representation review hearings and deliberations held on the 9th, 10th, 14th and 16th of September.
Correct.
So
moved. Who was that? Councillor Beck, Councillor Sedgwick. On a show of hands, please rise. Carried. Right, now we will now move to 7.1, which is zero harm. Gavin.
Thanks, Your Worship. Okay, so apologies from Lynn. She's had a death in the family, so she's unavailable today. So, Your Worship, if I can take the report as read, I mean, it should be sort of familiar to you now in terms of the content of it. I guess some of the key things just to comment on is that there's been an increase in events reported in both our chief operating and community growth teams. We had a lost time injury occurred in August. We had a staff member who sustained a back strain when lifting a weight, and yes, it was unfortunately we're hoping it wasn't related to a previous injury this person had again, which was work related. There's been a decline in recording contractor health and safety management activities in the last couple of months, so that's something we're keeping an eye on. And there's been nothing substantive really in terms of when we've looked at personal injury events. There hasn't been anything really substantive there to worry about. The other thing I just want to comment on, Your Worship, is we're just getting for the first time some details around the nature of the engagement conversations that we're having, the zero harm engagement conversations. So that's shown in the graphs. The predominant, which is probably not a huge surprise, out of our zero harm conversations, 94 were related to personal well-being, personal health and well-being. And so that very much is around people and families. It's around mental health and all those kind of well-being things. So, Your Worship, happy to take any other questions on the report from that.
Thanks, Gavin. Councillor Sedgwick.
Thank you, Gavin. Got a question on page 30 of the report relating to hazardous substances. it's a sentence that slightly confuses me. The review identified no controls that have been implemented as weak. So I'm assuming that that is actually a positive sentence. The controls are all working. Is that the correct understanding of that?
It's
Convoluted
one
sentence.
it's one that we are working on and continuing to work on. So it's, yeah, there's still more work we need to do around that critical risk. Still some more controls we need to put in place.
Right, and I noticed that it's been asked to be reviewed again in another 3 months. So I'm comfortable with that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so Vishal's the champion on that one.
Thanks, Councillor. Councillor Church.
Thank you, Your Worship. On the bottom of page 29, Gavin, this talks about the asbestos and that and those critical risks around investigating the buildings. Will we get a summary of that piece of work to us as council in the future?
You mean in terms of the surveys we've undertaken? Is that
Yes.
what you're asking, Councillor? Yeah,
Yeah.
we can do that.
But I guess, because I'm concerned, I guess, in terms of, these are community facilities, and just an overall summary of, going forward there, because that may have implications for finances and long-term plans, budgets and stuff from that point of view, not the operational side of it, obviously, but just purely from that governance point of view. Thank you.
Yes. And just going back to Councillor Sedgwick's question, yes. So I've just had another look at those words. So yes, so you're right. That is a positive, that the controls that have been implemented are stronger. They're not weak controls. They're much stronger than that. So yes.
All right. Any other further questions? If not, can I have somebody move to receive the report, please? Councillor Thompson, Councillor McAnally, all in favour, please raise a hand. Carried. Thanks, Gavin. Right, would somebody move us to go into public excluded, please? Councillor Gibb, Councillor Lynch, all in favour.